What's up, guys? This is Dragon. You're watching Dragon Off-Road. Today we're going to be rebuilding this rear brake caliper on a 1993 Ninja 600R. I'm also going to rebuild the master cylinder, rear master cylinder there, and probably replace the rubber line going to the overflow reservoir for the fluid, brake fluid. And I've already replaced the line, but I'm going to replace the copper washers just as a fail safe. So let's get right into that. I'm just going to record everything, and I guess I'll cut it later. So the first thing I want to do is drain all the brake fluid out of the system so I don't leak any, because brake fluid will chew right through any painted or plastic parts and really mess them up. So I want to get all that fluid out of there, make sure I don't spill any on any painted surfaces. So I'm going to take off the cap from the master cylinder, set that aside. Brake fluid's pretty clean because I just flushed it recently. I'm going to use this Mighty Vac to get all the fluid out. This thing comes in really handy. It's just a handheld vacuum pump with a little reservoir. So I'll attach that on there. Make sure I've got a good seal. Grab a wrench. I think it's a 10 millimeters on the nut there. So this caliper's got 2 bleeder screws. So I'm just going to start at the rear one. Go ahead and get that a little loose. Line on there. I like to have the gun a little higher than the reservoir, and then I'll just loosen that and start sucking all the brake fluid out of there. See it moving through the lines into this little catch. The reservoir just ran empty. Pretty good sign that you've gotten out everything you can get. I'm going to go ahead and unbolt the caliper there. I'm going to pull these lines out of the way so I can see everything that I'm doing. Those over there. So it looks like I need about a 6 millimeter and an 8 millimeter Allen head. So I use this little, I guess this was a 12 millimeter, 10 millimeter socket, but I just use it to get torque on the Allen wrench. Just slide it over. Makes popping those brake bolts a lot easier, because you could not do this by hand. Let me see if I can get a better angle. That up. Those are tight. Oh, yep. That did it. Do this one about the same way. Go ahead and remove this. I like to keep pressure vacuum on the line when I'm removing it, just to suck any fluid that's in the line, keep it from getting anywhere I don't want it to be. And it's a good idea to keep a lot of paper towels on hand while you're doing this, because you will get fluid spilled in places. You want to clean it up as quick as you can. Break this Allen. Oh, oh yeah. Whew. Goodness, those are tight. I bet they've got Loctite on them. Probably put red Loctite on those suckers. Of course, you don't want your brakes to ever fail or pop off. Unscrew those bad boys. Make sure I put them back on just as tight. I might put some blue Loctite on them just to make sure they stay on there. There's one. Difficult to get to. So the service manual says to do this every 4 years. Actually, it might have been every 2 years, now that I think about it. I think it says to replace the brake line every 4 years. Replace the seals and the caliper and the master cylinder every 2 years. But I doubt anyone does that, because this is a lot of work to just replace some rubber seals. They're probably not even rubber, I bet they're nylon seals for such a high pressure application. So this bike's 28 years old now, so these seals are 28 years old, but you know, nylon doesn't really age as much as rubber, so they're still working pretty good, but I could just tell the brakes were a little squishier than I would like them. And I've bled the system, I replaced the brake line, they're still squishy, so I'm just going the extra step, replacing the seals, and that's the last thing that could be causing the brake squishiness at this point. And if they're still a little squishy after this, then at least I'll have the peace of mind that they've got the best seals in them that they can have. I have confidence that it's done right. So now I can lift this guy off. Alright, so I took the caliper off, I disconnected the brake line. A good bit of fluid came out on the napkin I had set beneath the brake line. So, sorry, my phone stopped recording for some reason. Anyways, I'll get back into it. I'm working on the master cylinder now. I just loosened the brake line. Need to figure out how the master cylinder is connected to this lever. It's a cotter pin. Alright. Just gonna get it from underneath, I guess. Space for a cotter pin. There it goes. Cotter pin out. Alright. Should be able to take this little pin out now. That brake lever is now loose. Next I need to break these Allen bolts. Use my breaker bar. There's one. There's two. And I'll loosen them up. Set them aside. I'm just gonna use some bread ties, tie some little napkins around the brake line so I don't spill any fluid anywhere. There's one. Taking out that banjo bolt on top of the master cylinder. And that line is free. Take out the bolt. Set you aside. Grab the washer. Clean it up a little bit. I'm just going to bread tie this right here for now. Nice and clean. Napkin on here. And I'll go ahead and take off the master cylinder. The second bolt. Last thing holding that on there is a little clamp on this hose. Pop that free. Pop the upper one free. Go ahead and just remove the master cylinder reservoir while I'm in here. Do a thorough cleaning. Get that bolt out. Napkin ready. Put this line off of here. Sometimes I use PB Blaster to break stuff free, especially on hoses like this, where you don't want to break a plastic fitting. Get a little bit of PB Blaster on the hose, twist it a bit, get it to work its way in. Flathead. See if I can't work the hose a little bit here. Do a bit of prying. There it goes, came off. Cool. There's the master cylinder. A little bit of sediment in there. Clean that hose up and pull out the master cylinder. There it is. So I'm going to rebuild this baby. Get some fresh seals and things all in it. All right. Guess I'm going to start by taking out the brake pads. I assume you have to pull these pins out. You have to remove the clips.